Yes friends, so today I am taking again in continuation of percentage. Okay, questions based on percentage in continuation. Okay, let me take these further questions. These are of a bit difficult one. I mean the standard is very high. I mean previous questions were just based on definition. Now we are taking further level of difficulty. Okay, so these questions are based on that. But all these questions again will clarify what are the basics of percentage, how to find out percentage in case of different scenarios. Okay, so for different scenes. Now let us take questions one by one, because definitions I have already given in the previous lecture series, and questions also I did in that. Okay, and now further questions I am taking. So let me take questions one by one. Now question number one, what does it say? Now question one is very interesting. It says the three papers are set in an examination and the maximum marks awarded for them were in the ratios 1:2:2. Okay, the three papers are in the ratio 1:2:2. Now if a candidate obtains 50% in the first paper, 60% in the second paper and 65% in the third paper, then what percent did he obtain in the aggregate? This is about one candidate. In all the three papers he has obtained these marks. Okay, so first we have to find out that what are the total marks he obtained in all the three papers, and percentage. What percent did he obtain in the aggregate? Aggregate means in all the three papers. Let me first find out that what marks he obtained in each papers, what percentage of marks. And if I take these ratios, I mean suppose the ratio is 1x, 2x, 3x, like that. Okay, so if I find out that what is the first paper's percentage of marks or total marks, if I take whatever total marks are there, then if I take in that situation, I mean suppose 100 marks are there, first is 100, then 200, and 300, then 200 again, total marks are 500. Okay, so in that situation, out of 500, first marks are, what is this? Okay, so the three papers are set in an examination and the maximum marks obtained or awarded for them were in the ratios 1:2:2. Okay, let us take what is given to us. Now here we are given that a candidate gets marks or awarded marks. Let me take gets marks in three papers. In three papers of his examination. In the ratios 1:2. Last is also 2. Sorry, this is 2 here. Okay, and then he says that if a candidate obtains 50% in the first paper and he gets 50% in first, 60% in second, 60% in second paper, and 65% in the third paper. In the third paper, let me write. In the third paper. In the third paper. Okay, to find out. Okay, in the examination, then to find here that what percent did he obtain, or what percent did he obtain in aggregate all the three papers. okay, obtains, did he obtain in the aggregate? In the aggregate. Now let us say that out of 100, now he says that first let me take the ratios. Okay, solution. Let the sum of the ratios, the sum of the ratios here is sum of the ratios. This is not sum but sum of the ratios is equal to 1 plus 2 plus 2, that is 5. Now if I take that if there is 100 marks in one case, okay, then in first paper 100 marks in, so if I take the ratios in form of ratio, then the aggregate of the first paper, because this is in the ratios, so total sum of the ratios is 5, so in each paper 1.5, 2.5, 2.5, these are total marks. So in each paper aggregate marks or total marks, this is aggregate or total marks in each case. Now if I take that this is equivalent to in 100, suppose this is 500, if I take it is 500, from the ratio is 500, or out of this 1.5 out of 500, so total sum is 500. Let us take 100 plus 200 plus 200, this is the ratio, so we have multiplied by 100 here. Okay, so it is equal to this value, or we can say 1.5% of total marks, okay, is this one. So in the first paper aggregate marks, okay, then in each paper aggregate or total marks is equal to 1 upon 5 into, suppose this is 500, if I take it is 500 total marks in all the papers, in all the three papers, if I take 500, this is 500 times, so this is 100 like that. Okay, so in that situation this is 500, so 1.500, that means this is 100 marks. Okay, so 100 total aggregates is of the first paper, right? And in the second aggregate, okay, total marks of second, total aggregate marks, total marks of the second paper is equal to 2 upon 5 into 500, this is 200, because 500 times, and 100 into 2 is 200 marks. And in third paper also, because if I take percentage, in percentage wise he gets 50% marks. Okay, he gets 50% marks in first paper, 65% marks in this paper, and 60% marks in second paper, and 65% marks in third paper. So out of these aggregates, if I find out, the total marks will be what? Then we have to find out that the total marks equal to what percent of total 100 marks, okay, or 500 marks. So if I take the total marks of the second paper, this, and the third paper is also this, 2 upon 5 into 500, we have taken, so this is also 200. So total aggregate marks I have taken. Now if I take this 100%, I mean suppose this is 100, so out of this 100, 50% marks, here 50 marks he has obtained in first paper, 65 in second, for the third one, and 60 marks in third. In that situation, if I just take that how many total marks are, that is out of 300, but let me take these marks. Now out of this 100 marks, he has obtained 50% marks in first paper. The total marks, we will find out the total marks in each paper. I mean, if I add all those marks in each paper out of these aggregates, now let's say, so total marks in each paper. Therefore, total marks obtained by the candidate in each paper. Okay. So first is out of 100 marks, 50% of 100 marks is 50. Therefore 50% in first paper. Let me write here in first paper. Okay, let me take this as in first paper 50% of this 100 marks, because total marks is 100, is equal to 50 upon 100 into 100. So we have obtained 100 marks, sorry 50 marks out of 100. First one he gets 50% marks, so out of 100 he has obtained this. Now let us take the second, and in case of second, because total aggregate marks of the second paper is 200, third paper is also 200, and in second paper he gets, or the candidate gets 60% of 200, because total marks are 200. This is equal to 60 upon 100 into 200. So this is 120. So 120 marks he obtained out of 200 in second paper. Let us take third paper, and in the third paper, he obtains 65% of 200. Simple. This is equal to 65 upon 100 into 200. 20 cancelled out. So 2 into 65. This is 130. So this is equal to 130 marks. Got the point? 130, 120. This is 250, 250 plus 50. 300 marks. So this is total marks obtained by him. Is this? So this 300 marks are what percent of? This is total aggregate marks. So he obtains total marks in his three papers. That's right. In his three papers is equal to, in the first one it was 50 plus 120 plus 130. It is 250, 250 plus 50, 300 marks. Now this 300 marks score is out of 500, because total marks are 500 of the three papers. Now percentage of aggregate mass. Now percentage of aggregate mass or total mass is what? Now 300 marks he has obtained out of 500. Okay, he obtains 300 marks out of 500 total marks. Out of 500 he has obtained 300 marks, and out of 1 he will obtain 5, this is 300, sorry, out of 500 he has obtained 300, this is the reverse of that, I'm sorry. Out of 500, if I write, he obtained 300 marks. Percentage marks we have to find out. So out of 100, what? So he obtains, okay, so out of 500 marks, we say, out of 500 marks, he obtains 300 marks in aggregate. Okay, so, and out of 1 he will obtain 300 upon 500. 500, and out of 100, let me write here, out of 100 marks, this is percentage we are finding out. Out of 100, he obtains, multiplied by 100, this is 2 0 cancelled out. Okay, so 300 upon 5, this is going to be 5, 6, 30, 60% marks. So his aggregate marks are 60% marks. Simple. 60% marks he has obtained in all the 3 papers in aggregate. This is aggregate marks or total marks. So we can say that in all the 3 papers he has obtained overall 60% marks. This is what. So in each paper we have assumed that suppose the one is equal to 100, 200, 200. So total marks are of 5 papers 500. So out of the 500 in each papers we obtained that 50%, 60% and 65% marks of 100 and 200 and 200 we obtained. Total marks we added up, that was 300, and these 300 marks are obtained by the candidate out of 500. Okay, or out of 500 he has obtained 300 marks. Out of 1, 300 upon 500, out of 100, the percentage we can find out. So this is 60% marks in aggregate. Okay, so this is his score. Okay, so he scores 60% marks in aggregate. Okay, so this is how we have obtained the question number 1 we have solved. Now let us take question number 2. Now question number 2, let us talk about. What is question number 2? Question number 2 says a candidate scores, so is secured 20% marks in an examination and failed by 10 marks. Alright. Another scored 42% marks and got 1 mark more than the marks required to pass the examination. Determine the maximum number of marks, alright, and the percentage necessary to pass the examination. Question number 2 given. Let us take this. A candidate scores or secures, it is secured 20% marks and fails by 10 marks. Okay, so 10 marks less he has obtained when he obtains 20% marks. Another secured 42% marks, 42%, and got 1 mark more than the passing marks, more than the marks required to pass the examination. Okay, 1 mark more than the passing marks. Okay, to find. Now there are a number of points here. What are the points? First of all, he wants to determine the maximum number of marks. First point, maximum number of marks is what? This we have to find out. The second says, okay, number of marks and the percentage necessary to pass the examination, and percentage of marks to pass the percentage of marks necessary to pass the examination. This says necessary, okay, to pass the percentage of marks to pass, or this is known as minimum percentage of marks, we can say. Okay, this is known as necessary here. So percentage of marks to pass the examination. That is the second point required. So let us find out. Now he says that 20% marks first person gets and he fails by 10%. And then another person obtains 42% marks and he gets 1 mark more than the passing marks. What the point? Now the percentage of difference, if I find 20 and 40, 42. 42 minus 20 is 22%. 20% of difference of marks gives us Now here he obtains 10% marks less than the percentage marks required to pass. Okay, so this 10, the gap between these two is 10 plus 1, 11. This 11 difference is giving us percentage marks, 22% difference. Okay, so then we can find out that what is the total number of marks we can obtain. Then we can find that because he obtains 42% marks and 1% more, 1 mark more than that, then we will subtract that 1 and we will find out that what is the passing marks. Okay, let us take solution here. Solution. Okay, the difference of percentage, the difference of percentage, or let me write here percentage or percentage is equal to 42 minus 20 is equal to 22%, and gap in marks, okay, is equal to 10 plus 1, that means 11. Now this 11 marks difference is equal to 22% of total marks. This implies that 22% of total marks is equal to 11. Therefore total marks, therefore total marks is equal to how much? 11 upon 22%. 22% means 1 upon 100. This will be 1100 because 100 will come in the numerator. So 11 into 100 means 1100 divided by 22. So this will give us 11, okay, 11 2 and 1100 times. This is 50. This is 50 marks. 50 marks are the total marks. Total mark, out of this total marks, the person who gets 42% marks, okay, either find 20% of 50 and then add 10 because the first person was failed by 10 marks. In that way also we can calculate, or 42% marks, just find 42% of 50, then we will get whatever 21 marks, and less than subtract 1 from that, so 20 marks are passing marks, okay, out of 50. Total marks are 50. This is the first equation. Let me write here. So total marks, or we can say total marks, or we can say out of which this is total marks. Total marks is equal to 50 of the paper. In a paper, a candidate is scored 20% and fails by 2. There may be a total marks. Paper is of 50 marks. Total marks are 50. So total marks is equal to 50. Okay, and 20% of 50 plus 10 is equal to passing marks. What the point? This is the passing marks. So what is 20% of 50? So 20 upon 100 into 50 plus 10. That means this is 50 2 100 and 2 10 times. So this is 10 plus 10. 10 plus 10 equal to 20. So 20 marks are passing marks. This is passing marks here. Okay. This is how we have to obtain what is percentage of marks to pass the exam. Now 20 is the total marks out of 50. Now what is 20 of 50? What percent of this is? So 20 is what percent of, so 20 is equal to what percent of 50, that we will find out. Okay, so that means X percent of 50. Okay, let us say X percent of 50 is equal to 20. Therefore, this is 52, so this is 40. Imply that X equal to 40. So 40%, this is 40% marks. The person if obtains 40% marks, he passes. He passes. Okay, or the passing marks are 40% marks. This is percentage of marks to pass the examination. So 40% is the passing marks here. Or passing percentage is 40%. Because at 20, what is 20? 20 is what percent of 50? Okay, so it is just 40%. Right? Not 50%, but 50% will be 25. So 20 is 40% of that. Right? 50% will be 25 and 40% is 20. So this is 40% here. So this is 40% percentage marks, and to maximum number of marks is 50. Maximum number of marks is 50. Out of 50, passing marks are 40%. So at 20 marks, a person passes. Okay, so this is what answer is. These two answers are there. 40% marks, one obtained, which is 20 here. Okay, which is equal to, so 40% of 50 is equal to 20. Okay, why? Because 40 upon 100 into 50, 52 and this is 20. But 40 divided by 2 is 20. This is passing marks. This is passing marks. This is passing percentage, 40%, and total marks are 50. This is answer of question number 2. So 2 answers were required here. Okay, this is question number 2. Let us take question number 3. Let us talk about question number 3. Now question number 3, what does it say? Well, it says the total population of a country here is 294 into 10 raised power 6, that means million. 294 million, out of which 150 million are males and the rest are females. Okay, so what is given to us? Let me write here. Total population of a country or city. Population of a country. Total population of a country is equal to 294, here 294 into 10 raised power 6, right? Out of which 150 million or 156 zeros, 60, this much number are males. It says 150 million are males and the rest are females, and the rest are females, it says, are females. Secondly, what does it say? Out of 1000 males, now it says out of every 1000 males and 150 millions. Out of every 1000 males and rest are females, and out of every 1000 males, this is out of every 1000 males, this is the point, this I have written down here. Out of word I have written 2 times. Now it says that out of 1000 males, this is not out of 1000 males, rest are females. Rest are females are written 2 times. So this point is out of 1000 males, only 98%. Out of every 1000 males, 98 can read and write, but only 5.3% of the total population can do so. That means read and writing percentage is 5.3% of total marks, or total population. But out of 1000 males, only 98 can read. That is the point here. So let us take this point. Okay, so and out of 1000 males, only 98 can read and